Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Bembenek-Sawadio, and I am very happy to have you joining me this afternoon for a brief presentation about EducationUSA Academy and the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So I just wanted to greet you in person, and now I'm going to take a minute to open up my slides, and we will get started. So, all right. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's get started on the presentation. Like I said, my name is Sarah Bembenek-Sawadio. I'm very excited to be joining you from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And today we're going to take a little bit of time to talk about EducationUSA Academy at UWMadison, as well as EducationUSA Academy in general. So over the next couple of minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about quite a few things. We're going to first look at an overview of EducationUSA in general and EducationUSA Academy. And then we will talk about Madison and the University of Wisconsin-Madison, just so you can learn a little bit about where I am speaking to you from. And then we'll specifically look at EducationUSA Academy here at Madison. So before we get started, I'm actually having a little bit of trouble seeing my screen largely. So I am going to take a minute and let's see. Sorry about this. Let's go backwards. Okay, so we're going to go to the EducationUSA Academy and talk a little bit about what this program is all about. So EducationUSA Academy is a program that's meant to be a college preparatory program for individuals who are 15 to 17 years old and interested in having an experience in the United States at a university. And the program goal is essentially to give you the opportunity to work on your English and then also give you exposure to higher education in the United States. There are 15 institutions in the United States that offer this academy program. So that means that there are 15 different locations you could choose from, and they all have a slightly different length of time. They have a different theme that they run their program under. And like I said, I'll give you a little bit more detail about our program in a little bit. And you can find more information about all of these programs at the website that's listed here on your screen. So before we move on and get started even further, I want to just take a minute and kind of show you where I'm coming from in case you aren't familiar with where Madison and Wisconsin is located. So here you can see a map of the United States, and Wisconsin is located in the Midwest region. So we're in the north of the United States. And here closer, you can see that we're located about 2 hours north, 2.5 hours north of Chicago. So if you were to visit us this summer, in the EducationUSA Academy program, most likely you would arrive to Chicago, and then we would pick you up and bring you up to Madison. So before we move into some details of the city, I do want to take a minute and just let you know that you are very, very welcome here in Madison and the University of Wisconsin. I know that sometimes media might project, or what you read online might project, that the US isn't necessarily as welcoming as we like to say that it is, but Madison is really a wonderful place to come visit, and we're a very diverse community. We really, really welcome people from all corners of the globe, and we would be very, very honored and excited to have you, or if you are a counselor, your students at our institution this summer. So to give you a little bit of background about Madison really quick, just so you have an idea about the city that our program runs in, and then we'll go into the university and then into the program. Madison is the capital of Wisconsin. It's a city of about 350 or so thousand people. Madison is consistently rated as one of the best places to live in the United States, and that really takes into account many different things. Madison has a really great community, as I mentioned earlier. It's diverse. There's a lot of opportunity for great jobs and employment, and lots of businesses come to Madison because there's lots of opportunity and a wonderful university where they can find wonderful employees and staff. Madison is consistently also rated as a very, very safe place to be. This past year, it was ranked by the FBI as the 4th safest city in the country. And then also it's a very liberal community. So we're very active in immigrant rights and a very progressive city. And then because everyone's always interested in the weather when they're visiting or going anywhere, in July, which is when our program runs, it's a very, very comfortable, about 27 degrees Celsius, sunny, and really, really beautiful. Here you can see our Capitol building, which is our state building. This is also a picture of our football stadium. We're really, really into American football. It doesn't happen in the summer, unfortunately. And then we're also located on an isthmus. So we have about 4 or 5 lakes that kind of surround the main part of the city here in Madison. This next slide just gives you a little bit of kind of taste or an example of how really diverse Madison is in what you can do while you're here. So as you can see, we have a lot of festivals and really, really large emphasis on the different cultures that are represented in Madison. And in summer in particular, there are lots of music events, lots of food events. We have really close by a lot of great areas for hiking and nature space. We do a lot of service work in our EducationUSA Academy program. So I think that's a really neat experience, and students always seem to really enjoy the opportunity to get out and work with the community and work with different groups of kids or community members doing different service projects. We also have a zoo, and then just a lot of other neat kind of areas of the city that you can see on this slide. So now to give you a little bit of background about the university. So the University of Wisconsin-Madison is a large research institution. We have just under 44,000 students of undergraduate and graduate level status. And we offer 232 different undergraduate majors and certificates here on campus. And then another interesting number, I think, is that we have, over the course of 1 year here at UW, we have about 28,000 pre-college, so that's anywhere from primary school to high school, pre-college students that come to our campus for various activities and camps and projects. And what's great about this is that many of these students are coming to the university during the summertime. And so in our EducationUSA Academy program at UW, we do a lot of work with a couple of these groups. And so not only do the students or you as a participant in this program get the chance to meet the students in your EducationUSA Academy, but you also get the chance to really get to know a few other groups of high school students on campus who are doing other camps and other projects. And so it's a really great opportunity to make friends outside of just the immediate academy group that you're with. So the next couple of slides just give you some kind of images of what you would be involved in and where you'd be when you're on campus. I think it's important for us to know what kind of spaces you'll be living in when you're here. And so these pictures just show some examples of a typical classroom on campus. One of these pictures is at the library. On the left, you see our makerspace, which is a really neat new engineering space we have on campus that's really hands-on. They do 3D printing projects and a lot of other projects here. And we will be visiting there during the academy and getting to work on a project while we're there and learn kind of how the space is used in education. This next slide shows you a few more places on campus that are kind of notable. We do have several areas, not makerspaces, not engineering specific, but workshop areas where students can go and work on various projects. We will be working a lot this summer in our academy with our Education Exploration Center here on campus. And you'll get the opportunity to learn about kind of different careers you might want to consider and really use a lot of the resources and advisors that they have in that center. And then this bottom corner picture just shows you one of our most famous buildings on campus. It's called Bascom Hall. That is where our chancellor works from. And most people like to come visit it at some point. It's kind of the center part of our campus. These next couple pictures just give you some examples of where you'll be living and dining while you're here on campus. So the bottom corner is actually a picture of the residence hall that you'll be living in. It's one of our newest residence halls. It's located all along the lake. As you can see, it's also got a lot of green space, which is great because a lot of times in the summer, students are playing volleyball or soccer. And it's located near some of our workout facilities as well. And then we have several dining halls that will be available to students during their time on campus as well. And then this last set of pictures just shows you some other kind of cool areas to be on campus. We have a free geology museum that's open to the community and pretty neat to check out. We have 2 buildings on campus called the Union. We have a Memorial Union and a Union South. And both of these locations are just kind of like hangout areas where students sometimes go study, where they get together. There's bowling, there's rock climbing. And so it's a neat place that you will undoubtedly be visiting during your time at the UW-Madison. And then this top picture just shows kind of another central area in campus. It's called Library Mall. And in the summer, it's lined with food carts. So it's a place where all these little kind of carts from all over the world come, and people often come and eat lunch here and hang out and kind of get some fresh air during their day. And it's a really, really neat place to go and try different food, and also, of course, see people from all over campus. So this next slide just shows a little bit of information about UW-Madison. I think it's important to understand that while you may not have necessarily heard of Madison or even Wisconsin, UW-Madison is a very well-known institution across the world. We have many of our programs and departments that rank very highly. And it's important, of course, to always choose an institution you want to visit based on how it fits your needs. But I think it's also important to recognize that Madison is really recognized around the world for having exceptional programs. So now I'd like to transition into some specific details about the EducationUSA Academy program at UW-Madison. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, there are 15 institutions in the country that are offering this program, but each one is slightly different. And so I want to give you the chance to kind of learn about what Madison's is like and see if it might be a good fit for what you might be looking for this summer. So our EducationUSA Academy program at UW-Madison runs from July 1st to July 19th of this summer. So it's a 3-week program. Students that register would need to do so. So you need to register by May 10th of this year. And the cost of the entire program is $4,995. Now that cost pretty much covers everything when you arrive to Chicago or Madison. So what I mean by that is that covers all of the programming and essentially tuition. It covers your insurance. It covers airport pickup and drop off from Chicago or Madison. And it covers everything that you'll be doing while you're here. So it covers your housing, your food. We'll take you on field trips, which I'll show you about in a little bit. And so really the costs that the student needs to cover are any visa related costs that they need. And then of course the airline travel in order to get to Chicago or Madison. As I mentioned earlier, this program is open for students ages 15 to 17, and it's meant for students who are both native or non-native speakers of English, but you need to have at least an intermediate level of English in order to participate. We want to make sure you can get the most out of the program while you're here, and in order to do that, you will need at least an intermediate level of English. And you can be somebody who, as long as you're residing outside of the United States, you're welcome to participate in this program. So here, kind of the next couple slides talk a little bit about what you can expect to, kind of what are the benefits of, in particular, the UW-Madison EducationUSA Academy program. So I think the first thing that you could expect to receive is a lot of opportunity for both personal growth and independence. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. And then we'll go into each of these kind of individually. We'll talk about the programming as well as the team that'll be working with you, and then just kind of some opportunities you'll have to learn while you're here. And also develop some really incredible friendships with people from all over the world. Let's take a look at each of these individually. The first kind of real benefit, true benefit that I think you'll get out of the EducationUSA Academy program at Madison is that you'll get to select the track that you want to pursue. So we're offering 2 opportunities, kind of 2 programs for students to choose from. And this is going to be kind of contributing to that. You'd need to decide what's best for you, and you need to make that choice. And this is going to help you kind of improve yourself in the way that you want to improve while you're here for 3 weeks. So those 2 tracks are either our career exploration track or our intensive English track. And I'll talk about each of these individually. So first, our career exploration track is a track that's meant for students who are near native speakers of English. So if you speak English essentially fluently, this would be the track that you would want to choose. And the purpose of this track is really to give the students who are participating the opportunity to look at a variety of majors and careers And so it's an interdisciplinary look at different career options and major options that you have at the university. And during this program, what students will do is they'll be learning from different departments through conversations with advisors, talking to different students and student panels, participating in different workshops and taking different tours of departments to kind of get an idea of what it would be like to be an engineering student or, a pharmacy student or a business student. And there'll be a lot of interaction with individuals in these departments for you to kind of really get an understanding of what it is you want to do. And then also there'll be an opportunity for you to sit in on one summer class that's running in an area that interests you, just to kind of get a feel for what a university class is like in a major that you're interested in studying. Now our next option, so the other track option, is that of the intensive English program. And so the intensive English program is meant for students who aren't quite fluent, but really want to focus on working on their English while they're in Madison. And so it's for high intermediate to advanced students. And this is really going to focus on developing your language related to soft skills that you'll need to be successful in the university. So study after study, a lot of research shows that students, in order to be really successful, need to have really developed soft skills. So soft skills are things like being able to be a leader and work in groups and communicate clearly and think critically and problem solve. And so a lot of what you'll do in the intensive English class will have those sorts of themes while improving your English. You'll expand your academic vocabulary, and it'll be very, very discussion based. So you'll be doing presentations and debates and negotiations and getting a lot of opportunity to work on your spoken English. So this next slide kind of gives you an idea of what a typical day would look like during the program, during the 3 weeks that you're here. So as you can see, in the morning is where we have those two tracks. You don't spend your whole day in separate, I should note it or make note of. So in the morning, you either choose the career exploration track or the intensive English track. And then in the afternoon, both groups come together and we join up for a university workshop session. So this is where it'll change every day, but this is where you'll get the opportunity to learn a lot about higher education in the US. So you'll get admissions presentations that are meant for international students. You'll get the opportunity to participate in different workshops related to admissions. We'll be taking you to three different sites, different institutions in Madison and around our area to give you an idea of different higher education institutions in Madison. So we'll be visiting a technical college and then two different private four-year institutions in the area. And then you'll also be working with our writing workshop and writing center here on Madison's campus in order to kind of work on a personal statement that you'll, over the course of 3 weeks, really develop, and it'll be something you can use at the end of the program that you could submit as part of your application process to a university. And then towards the end of the day, you'll be doing a lot of social and cultural activities. So this is where you'll be doing a lot with those other pre-college groups I mentioned, sporting activities, different social activities, attending movie nights, all those kinds of things. So really lots of fun stuff happens. A little bit less academic in the afternoon. And then later in the evening, you get a chance to kind of catch up on homework, check in, and get ready for the next day. So in addition to that personal growth and independence, you're going to have the opportunity to really develop some great friendships with people during your time at Madison's EducationUSA Academy. So you're going to be living, I already showed you a picture of our Lakeshore dorms. So you'll be living there with a roommate from the program. And I already kind of alluded to that we'll have lots of social and cultural activities. So you'll be actually here during the US Independence Day, July 4th. So we'll be taking you to some July 4th activities. We'll be participating in a bonfire, going to some outdoor events and cultural activities like concerts and dance kind of events that happen here on campus. So there'll be a lot of opportunity to make some great friendships and really have fun with the people that you're meeting. You'll also have the opportunity to, as I mentioned, work with several pre-college groups here on campus. So an example of this is Wickedy is a pre-college group here. It's an academically talented youth that's here for a 3-week program, and we'll be doing several workshops with them. There's also several groups like Pushkin and CAP and also the Career Exploration Center that we'll be working a lot with. So you'll get to meet these students over and over and hopefully become very good friends with some of the people you'll be meeting. Now, as far as another benefit you'll get from our program, we have a lot of academic programming, as you saw during the week, but on the weekends, we're really excited to take you out and kind of show you some of the fun and regional activities that exist around Madison. So very close to us, we have a beautiful state park that has a lot of hiking and swimming, and we'll be visiting that for a day of hiking. We'll be taking you to a water park about an hour from Madison. That's in a city that's known as the water park capital of the world. It's called Wisconsin-Dells. We'll also be visiting. Madison is regularly known for having the best farmers market in the country. And so that happens every Saturday around our capital, very close to campus. So we'll be taking you there, as well as spending a day in Chicago. So you'll get to see the Bean and check out Millennium Park and have some great food. And so it'll be a fun day trip for you on the weekend. Now, as far as who you'll be working with, so the team of individuals who's putting this program together is myself and my two colleagues, Christine and Monique, who you see here on the screen. And we regularly work with pre-college students and undergraduate and graduate international students for programs. So we're very, very experienced and knowledgeable about running these programs, and we're very, very excited to be a part of this with you. We are an active part of the time that you're here, and up until you arrive, you'll always be working with us, and we're excited to have the chance to host you. You'll also have 24/7 counselors. So there'll be people available to you 24 hours a day to help you with really anything you need. So if you get homesick, if you just need to find your way around campus, if you need to go to the doctor because you are genuinely ill, there's always somebody there to help you out. And then also we have a really incredible university police department that's really, they're a great team of people. They're very active in the community. So they don't just come when something goes wrong, but you'll see them out and about on campus, just checking in. They're a great resource if you have questions. And then also, as I mentioned earlier, you will have insurance while you're here, and the University Health Services is available to you as an Academy member 24 hours a day. And the last 3 years, UW-Madison's health services have been ranked the best in the country. So we have a really great team of people to help you in the event you get sick, which hopefully, of course, won't happen. So I think the last major benefit that I just want to highlight for you is how much opportunity you'll have to learn when you're here. So I hope it's been clear that in addition to learning about higher education, you'll get to meet a lot of people and get to kind of experience the Midwest. But really, you'll also have the opportunity to become a part of this really large and valuable Badger network. So Badgers is our mascot. So the UW-Madison mascot is a Bucky Badger. He's the animal you saw near the top of the program. And we have a 440,000 person alumni base. So lots of people have left, come through Madison and are now living all over the world. And they are an incredible resource for people who have participated in programs at UW and then move on to something else. It's this network that you are now a part of and will help you in your future in a variety of ways. And in addition to that, you'll have the opportunity to just learn about and participate in a world-renowned university, and then also use these experiences to help yourself in the future. So what I mean by that is the experiences that you're going to have are going to really help you as far as your career choices and networking in the future and application processes. So sorry, I clicked my mouse by accident and moved on to the next slide, but this last slide just gives you some information about, if you're interested, what the process would be for applying. So as far as applications go, like I already mentioned, our application process is open through May 10th, and you need to submit an online application as well as a personal statement and a recommendation form, and then a $500 deposit towards the tuition. So I wanted to end, and I won't read this to you, but I wanted to just end with a quote from a UW-Madison student who had studied here from Tamaulipas, Mexico. And I think that what she shares is really valuable. So I'll give you a moment to read it, and then I just want to make a comment about it. So I think what Christy really gets at with this quote is that, as I kind of mentioned earlier, there are Wisconsin, UW-Madison Badgers all over the world. And she has found through her experience that after studying at Madison, this has been really valuable to her in a variety of ways, not only in just conversation, but also in career opportunities that have presented themselves. And so it's neat to become a Badger by participating in the Education USA Academy program at Madison, and then being able to go back to your home country and still have very tight connections to people who have had that same experience. So that is the conclusion of my presentation. Again, I really, really appreciate the time you took to listen, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you would have. My contact information is on the screen, and I am more than happy to answer any emails from students or families, or arrange a time to discuss something online or over a phone call in the future. But again, I just want to thank you. We would really look forward to seeing some of you or some of your students this summer at UW. It's going to be a really great experience, and I appreciate the time you took to learn about it. So I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone would have at this point, if you would like to share them. Okay, it looks like we don't have any questions, but again, I welcome you to feel free to reach out via email if you would like more information. Our website is also a really, really great place to look for information. It's very, very detailed, has lots of visual information as well as text information. I will hold on a few more minutes because I see there's a little bit of a delay. And so I want to give you the chance to ask a question if you would have it. But if you don't, again, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to being in touch in the future.